And two, elastic web access that he insights will definitely share those all
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Just gonna take a bit of a pause while everyone jumps in, and then we'll get started in about 5 minutes or so. And Logan is just wrapping up the previous session that he was doing on our AI impact calculator, so he'll be joining us in just a minute here.
I mean, we could easily talk about it. So, good. Just a reminder for everybody, I'll throw it up here one more time.
And just to kind of kick things off, you folks can feel free to just mention in the chat where you're calling in from.
Good. They're fun. I mean, they're very down and go. They were going to come in a couple of years ago. Thanks everybody. It didn't happen, obviously. But really, the question is, okay, we want to do it. So I kind of pumped the brakes a bit. I told them accelerated the changes. It's neat. Like they basically help create mobile apps for small businesses. They're big on like loyalty. You're a hair salon, you have an app, stuff like that, which is kind of cool for SMEs. They have a channel model, so selling through agencies. I like they're not big. Doesn't have a sales team. So I just invested some in
Welcome, everyone. Just going to kick things off in a few minutes here as we've got a bit of a busy day in terms of webinars. So we figured that a lot of people are going to be attending both. So yeah, just wanted to take a bit of time just to let folks get themselves organized so they can hop on in before we get started.
Well, we kind of have.
Yeah, here we come indeed, Patrick. I'm seeing people hopping in now. Awesome, good to see it.
How many is it?
We're good.
And as always, folks, feel free just to mention where you're calling in from in the chat. Always interested to see whereabouts in the world you're all from.
But you're right.
So I have a couple questions before we jump in
Detroit, Santa Barbara, Victoria, Saskatoon, a few Canadians in here. Oh, Toronto as well. Awesome. Oh, got lots of fellow Canadians in the session today. Love to see it, and always love to see our friends down south as well, of course.
Okay, sweet. Because then it's like, accounts that are attending the webinar.
San Diego, awesome. Probably much better weather than we have up here in our part of Canada, though it is getting a bit warmer here.
Let's do it office hours style.
Yeah, down south where there's no snow, that's right. Yeah, still a little bit of snow left on the ground up here in Canada, but it is slowly melting, thank goodness. Tim, yes, it did. We are just getting the sort of recording situation sorted out. We are going to be sending out a link to YouTube where we're going to be kind of housing all of the recordings moving forward. So if you did want to get caught up on last week, then yeah, we'll make sure to get that recording over to you, Tim.
So maybe there's already those two were already one of them.
How many actually came from our outreach efforts, and then actually follow up with all that specific
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Sure. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I don't know that we're gonna have I haven't found. I think I'm gonna I think we're gonna have time.
Just gonna give folks a couple more minutes to jump on in here, and I believe Logan is going to be joining us in just a minute as well. So yeah, thanks for your patience there. We're gonna get started right away here.
What's going on? I think almost they won't be a good idea of like internally the new process could be rep or whoever has the referral fills out that page. It goes to SD. I've got to run by people depending on demand, and they basically say yes or no. And then I or whoever's in the role team goes and yes. And those that are no, we just have a
reporting and all that fun stuff.
sorry, we're not interested at this time. Please reach out. Or we'll reach out if there's change or something, like whatever.
This is
That's my thought.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's what I think.
Understood, Bill. Thanks for flagging that. I'll make sure that we have the team look into that there.
But essentially, we set it up where 14 different emails will go out to.
Yeah, I will keep it for sure.
Good to know. Thank you, Roberto.
They probably need it, like, I don't have.
Yeah, just a bit of growing pains with switching to the new webinar platform, I suppose.
For sure. Oh, yeah, I don't need this to stop talking. Yeah, no. I mean, like, yeah, this is.
Gotcha.
Because again, as I mentioned, I can, like.
Okay, yeah.
Get by for the ones like the marketing services that if we start looking at 5, 10, 100.
All right, I see Logan's jumping in here, so should be able to kick things off momentarily.
You know, this is more of a moving forward. So, yeah, they can go to next.
Alrighty. I think we're gonna kick things off just as Logan gets set up there. So for today's agenda, just gonna quickly walk us through it. So yeah, meet the team. I think we all know the group at this point. So there's myself, Alistair George, sales engineer, and I'm also an account manager part-time as well, along with Logan Ohitwa, enterprise account director, and Dakota. He's actually on the road today, I do believe. So he's sitting this one out, but I think he'll be back next week. Oh, I appreciate that, Roberto. Might have some issues with my microphone here. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, there we go. I think that should be working there. Apologies, guys. Yeah, I guess must be my first day or something like that, eh? Okay, so for today's agenda, we're going to be diving into smart lists and automations and how we can kind of use those two together. So some of you might be familiar with smart lists. I think at this point, all of us are probably at least a little bit familiar with automations, but there's some pretty cool stuff that we can do if we combine the two. So gonna just kind of jump in and walk us through a few different use cases and setups, and hopefully that can maybe kind of spark your imagination and can roll maybe something similar out for your local business customers. So let's dive right in. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Going to jump into Business App as always, just to kind of go through the setup of a smart list for those that perhaps are not familiar. So going to jump into the CRM tab here. And then I'm going to jump into lists. And we've got a few in here already. Can I make the screen larger? How about that? Hopefully that's a bit more visible there. And then we're going to create a new list. Going to call it a smart list, give it a name. Let's do web chat leads, just as our first example here. And then I'll get a bit more into the functionality because, again, I think it's pretty gosh darn cool what you can do with these. And then it's going to take you to a screen a little bit like this. And then go into our filters here. So what the smart list effectively is it's a set of filters. So we're going to set up our different attributes, whatever filters in the CRM that we want to use for either contacts or companies. And then these lists are live, so they'll kind of automatically add and remove contacts as our CRM records change. So one example here could be our web chat leads. So this list is just going to continuously get longer and longer as time goes on. So I'm going to say our record source is web chat. Then if we hit save here, these are going to be all of our web chat leads. Whoops. So then as our new leads come in, this list is going to get longer and longer. And it's a good way just to kind of keep track of these leads. And we can also trigger automations based off of these lists, which I'll get into in a little bit. Now, another one could be something more so like time-based. So we could do, say, stale leads. And to make this a smart list, contact level, create that. And then I'm going to add a filter here. So I'll say last activity date. And then we could say like, oh, got my friend Logan in here now at long last.
Yeah, I don't know why SQL let me do one webinar, and then I was like, that's enough for one day. Nobody wants to hear you talk anymore. So it didn't let me set up my mic or my video for some reason, but I got her figured out. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, just jumping into how we can set up our smart lists here, and then we're going to dive into screen size is frustrating. Try to zoom this in a bit more to make it a bit more visible on your side there, Jeff. I do apologize for that there.
Jeff, just if you do, you can collapse the chat, which makes it a little bit bigger. But if the expand isn't working, that might be a bug on SQL's end. Mine seems to be working. It might be worth refreshing and or like jumping back out and in. Just to try it. It might help.
Awesome. So just to jump in here. So for our filters for our stale leads, a smart list, just to give an example of how we can have these things be like time-based dynamically rather than like, just a fixed thing. We could say last activity date is before last month, and it's going to give us a list of all of our contacts that have not been touched in that period of time. And then as time progresses, of course, it's just going to automatically sort of adapt itself and say, maybe we call one of these leads up, book an appointment, then they're going to drop off that list. And then just as an example of how we could perhaps tie one of these into an automation, I'm going to jump in here and hit create automation. Use a blank template here, and then I'll say when a contact is added to a list, choose our stale leads list, and say maybe when anytime that someone is added to that list, we want to put them on a bit of a nurture campaign to hopefully try to warm them back up, something like that. So we could say when a contact is added to the list is the trigger, and then start a campaign for the contact. And there we go. give that a bit of a name. And again, pretty simple automation workflow, but hopefully, some of those dynamic pieces and the time-based element, we can potentially look at like hopefully this sparks your creativity is what I'm getting at there. Just as there's a lot that you can do with this functionality here. And in addition, we can also do things like use smart lists to kind of segment our customers based on like the product or service or whatever it is they're looking for. So here's how we could potentially set that up. So first of all, I'm going to create a custom field for this account. Contact level, call it sales or service. And then going to create an automation to populate this custom field, and we're going to tie it into the web chat, but you could also tie it into other things as well. So our trigger is when web chat captures a lead, then we're going to use AI to analyze the conversation summary. I'm going to use that send a prompt to AI functionality here. And then using our dynamic content wizard, I'm going to pull in the chat summary. So go into from a previous step and go into the trigger, then grab our chat summary. And now we're going to give the AI a bit of instruction as to what it should be doing. So from the chat summary, please determine if the user is interested in sales or service. The user is not interested. Put invalid. And you always want to be very specific with this, telling it exactly what to output, just so the AI kind of does what you want it to. So just to recap, what we have going on here is from the chat summary, please determine if the user is interested in sales or service. Please output either sales or service, both in quotes, depending on their interest. If the user is not interested in either of those things, output invalid. There we go. And now that we've got AI sort of analyzing the conversation, we can then update that custom fields based off of what the AI comes back with. So we want to include a if-else branch, and then look at workflow data, and then look at what the send a prompt to AI response contains. So we can say if it contains invalid, then we don't want to update that field. So yes, we just kind of don't put anything there. And then on the no side, that's where we're going to update the field. So we're going to say update contact. And then we did recently roll out an update to this piece here. So instead of it just always being updating the value, we can do various different things. So we can set the value if there's nothing, we can clear the value, or we can append the value as well. So set value, then I'm going to pull in our AI response. So AI's analyzed the conversation. It's determined if the person's looking for sales or service, and then it's going to put either sales or service into that field. And there we go. So that's kind of the workflow in a nutshell, pretty straightforward. When web chat captures a lead, we analyze the conversation summary and then update that custom field based on their preference for sales or service. Actually, let's give this guy a name just to keep ourselves organized here. So sales or service, conversation. Hold on. If I can type, hold on, folks. And analysis. There we go. And one thing to keep in mind is you can have a whole bunch of different automations, all of them with this when web chat captures a lead trigger. They're all going to fire simultaneously. So say, for example, one of them we could have when web chat captures a lead, send an SMS follow-up. That's the first one. That's all good. And then the second one could be something like this. And then the third one could be notifying a sales manager or something like that every time a web chat lead comes in. So you could have 3, 4, 8, 20, whatever automations, all of them with this trigger, and they would all fire at the same time every time a lead comes in. So that's something to keep in mind. So it's not like you need to have one monster of a workflow for your web chat leads. You can have a bunch of little ones doing various different things. Perfect. And now just to kind of give us an idea of what this could look like, going to update this one here manually. So let's pretend that this one was interested in sales, and maybe another one. This one here is interested in service. And then in our lists, we can go ahead and create 2 different custom or 2 different smart lists, pardon me. So go to create list, smart list, call it sales customers. Boom, add a filter, grab our new custom field that we just created there. Sales or service is sales. And then that looks good. Save that. Now we're going to do that process again really quickly for the service side. So service, customers, create that. And then we've got our friend John Doe there. He's a service customer. And now, lastly, what are we going to do with this? So we can utilize a different automation there, kind of similar to that stale lead one, but it's kind of more so based on new leads coming in rather than existing ones there. So going to say when contact is added to a list, say our sales customers, and then we're going to send them a sales specific nurture campaign. So that way we can get very granular with the content that we're sending out to try to nurture and warm up these leads, rather than just kind of blasting out some generic content to everybody that comes in, regardless of what it was that they were actually interested in. Oh, whoops. Say campaign, start a campaign for the contact. And I'll just use our placeholder there. I think we get the idea. We could say sales leads nurture campaign.
Just as Alistair is building this out, I'd encourage you all to think kind of creatively depending on which industries you service. But imagine, I read a great statistic the other day where folks that go to a restaurant, if they're a one-time customer, there's a 40% chance they'll come back again. If they're a second-time customer, 40% chance. Third-time customer, 40% chance. But if you can get them to a fourth visit, there's an 85% chance that they will return multiple times, not just once, but multiple times afterwards. And so you can build in using these smart lists, is this the first time, when somebody has a closed won opportunity, add a particular tag to the account. If they have another closed won opportunity and they get tagged again, you can actually build these out to be pretty robust in the way that it handles things. Another example would be for, say, something like the automotive industry, where you could have somebody bought a set of tires, and they probably are going to need to rotate those tires every 12 months on average. So you can then add them to a list because they purchased a particular product. You now add them to an ongoing marketing list for your clients so that they can re-engage or nurture those customers using that smart or that dynamic list.
And yeah, just as an example, for that sort of tire use case there, we could say last tire purchase or something like that as our custom field.
Yep.
And then have that be a date. And then we could have something along the lines of like go into our lists again, and then believe they say that you're supposed to get your tires rotated every 6 months or something like that. So we could say, you know, last tire purchase. And then kind of set up the you know, the date filters there, and then have it be like interesting.
You'd want it is before, wouldn't you?
Is yeah, no, good call out. Is before, last week, this month, next month, last month. So we could do, say, last quarter, just as an example here. I believe we are looking to have more capabilities in this section right here, just because, you know, there's sort of like predetermined periods, last month, this month, etc. But it would be ideal if we could say, you know, 6 months or 90 days or whatever it is, rather than, you know, just kind of using these arbitrary things. So I believe that the team does have that on their backlog.
Yeah, well, and even with something like this, just using that as an example, you could say if their last tire purchase was within 6 months, but then you could say if they come in for a tire purchase, you know, tag their account or update a field with the date of the tire rotation and say, so if the last tire purchase was 6 months ago, or if their last tire rotation was within 6 months ago, send them a follow-up notification to you know, reach out. And again, I'd really encourage this with it doesn't always even have to be a revenue driving sales motion. One of the smartest things I've ever seen, my realtor in Saskatoon, when me and my wife bought our house, he did the most simple thing that if we ever buy a house again, guaranteed he's going to have our business. Every year we get just a card in the mail from him around the holiday season, just saying, I appreciate you. And it's like, he's not trying to sell us anything. He's not trying to do anything. He's just got an automated system on his end where he knows we bought a house through him, and he sends us a card on an annual basis just to keep top of mind. You know, whenever we do look at buying another house, you know, Mitch is going to be the first person we call. And there's a lot of industry data that shows exactly that as well. So you can actually go in and you know, not only just use this as a sales motion, but just a way for your clients to nurture existing customers and nurture those relationships. It might lead to referral business. It might lead to, you know, a repeat purchase, or it might just lead to a customer that just has a better relationship with the brand in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's a great call out there, Logan. And just another example, my parents, they bought their house from Realtor here in Saskatoon back in 2003. He every single year sends them a handwritten Christmas card. And so, I mean, if they ever look at selling that house or buying a new one, 1,000%, he's going to be the one getting that business.
Yep, that's exactly it. And it's little things like that too, right? I think I've shared this example on a few different sessions, but in my previous job prior to Vendasta, we had a loyalty and reward software. And one of the things that we did was we worked with the oil change industry quite a bit. And even though they wanted to get repeat customers every 5 to 6 months rather than every 6 to 7, the thing that we found, we tried sales messages, we tried discounts and coupons, we tried all of these different things. The thing that actually had the highest conversion rate was an automated message every 5 months that just said, hey, been a while since we've seen you, check your oil next time you're at the pump. It wasn't a, hey, we're trying to sell you something. It wasn't a, hey, come in, we'll give you 20% off today only. It was like, hey, we're just a reminder. It's been a while. You probably haven't checked your oil in a while. I mean, heck, I forget to do it all the time. Just a simple text message reminder. They would look at that. They'd go in, they'd check it. They're like, yeah, you know, it is getting a little sludgy. It's getting a little old. You know what? Why don't I go back in? And then they would go in and they'd get oh, hey, thanks for coming in. You know what? Why don't we give you 10% off today? We appreciate your business. And it was literally over a 3-year period, $3 million in additional revenue for their brand. They had 3 locations. So it was a massive uptick in business for them just from a simple text message that wasn't even sales forward. It was just top of mind, keeping in front of a customer. And that's half the battle nowadays. You know, you hear people talk a lot about, how we live in an attention economy, right? It's top of mind is really the most valuable thing that you can have. And these smart lists can make it really, really easy to stay not only top of mind, but in a relevant way. Like, it's gone are the days of here's just an email that obviously went to every customer I ever had, and I've never bought tires for you, but I get a tire rotation email. Like, that doesn't help me as a consumer. But if I get a message that's actually, specifically tailored to the service or the product I've purchased from that brand, it becomes a lot more compelling and a lot more powerful.
Yeah, 100%. Don't always gotta hit people with the hard sell. Just be top of mind, and sometimes the business will come to you. But
Exactly.
anyways, that's not why we're here. Let's quickly jump in and cover one more thing, and then I've got some time set aside for a bit of Q&A. So I'm going to touch on another thing that we rolled out a little while ago, and I think it's pretty cool. We've seen some people using it, though I think not everyone on this session is aware of this, so I thought I'd take a bit of time just to highlight this and some of the things that we can do with it. So it's something called lead scoring. So what this is basically much like a smart list. We can look at various different attributes associated with our contacts and our companies and essentially assign a score to them. So the higher the score, the better the lead, and the more likely they are to become a customer. And we also have this handy create rule for me, so we're not kind of starting from scratch. I'm actually just going to go ahead and use that in the interest of time and walk through a few of the things. So we've got stuff like last email campaign click dates is after on last week. So that's like someone's engaged with marketing emails recently. Same thing for opens and stuff like that. And then maybe we can throw in like another one, like maybe they're interested in sales because those are like, higher revenue for this fake use case that we're coming up with on the fly here. And then we can assign numbers of points that we want to add or subtract to the score accordingly. And then we can have as many of these criteria as we want. And they don't have to all be met or anything like that. It could be just one, then that's plus 10 points or however we have it set up. And in addition, we can also reduce our lead score as well. So we can have various different things to reduce the lead score. So for this example, we've got -5 points if the email does not exist. And same thing for the phone number, -5 points if we don't have a phone number on file, just as we're less likely to get a hold of those people if we don't have a way to get a hold of them, which I think is fair enough. So let's go ahead and save that. And then, yeah, just kind of an example of what we could do here. This is, of course, going to be different for just about every business, every vertical, but it is quite powerful once it's kind of up and running and we're looking at the right things. Now, following that, we can actually take various actions based off of this lead score. So in the CRM, we can filter by lead score. So say lead score is greater than, say, 20. I'm not sure if anything is going to come up here. No, it's not, because this is a fake demo account and there's not actually any campaigns going out. So yeah, I guess all of these guys probably have pretty low lead scores, all of these fake contacts in here. But in addition to, or Edwin, just to quickly answer your question there, it's actually not an automation. It's just a baked-in feature in our CRM, both at the business app level and at the partner level. So for either business app or partner center, you're going to want to go into the administration menu and then go into lead scoring, where it's going to take you to this screen here, which lets you kind of add criteria to both increase and decrease our lead score. Yep. Then quickly just going to jump into our lists here, going to create yet another smart list, just again to kind of showcase all that we can do with this. And we could say hot leads. And what's a hot lead? Well, maybe that is a lead with a lead score that is greater than say greater than 59. So 60 and above, that's a hot lead by our criteria, and then that will get added to the list there.
And I want to really call out there. So like one of the things that Alistair showcased is the lead score is based on they get 10 points if they engaged with an email in the last week. But then if it's been more than a week, that lead score drops. As that lead score drops, because it's a smart or a dynamic list, it's automatically going to move that customer out of that list. So it can be used as a really strategic way for when somebody, as Alistair laid out, is a hot lead, we maybe start peppering them with, hey, here's a promotion, or here's a discount code, or, hey, come in today and we'll give you, a free service, or whatever the case may be. But then if that customer doesn't engage with that email for a week, it just actually moves them out and it quits offering them that promotion or whatever it is that you might want to offer to your hot leads. Or your sales reps aren't chasing somebody who hasn't engaged in multiple weeks. They're only targeting the people that are high up on that list.
Yeah, 100%. And there's, you can be very strategic with it, to Logan's point. Just as you can have it dynamically update, so it's not like once they meet the criteria, then the score is the score forever. The score is meant to kind of go up and down as time goes on based on what these customers are doing, what they're engaging with or not engaging with.
Well, and actually that's a really good point too, Alistair, is it's not just the hot leads, it's also the cold side. Hey, somebody who maybe hasn't engaged with us in 6 months, we want to put them onto a nurturing campaign and warm them up. This is something Vendasta does internally a ton with partners, prospects, that have reached out to us years ago. We'll put them on an email campaign about what's new at Vendasta, or, here's a little bit of information about what's changed in the last little while. And so imagine a world where instead of your customers coming in, they add all 10,000 of their prospects to a list and run an email campaign. They actually have a certain email campaign going out to their 1,000 coldest leads. They have a different email campaign going out to their 500 hottest leads. And then they have, maybe various different emails kind of throughout those different levels. You can start to make this a pretty powerful solution for them that really customizes for their own business, as opposed to what a lot of kind of industry standard CRM and email tools do, which is just kind of a blanket outreach to thousands of people with the same content.
Yeah, 100%. Great call out. And just to kind of show us what we could do for our cold leads, I'm going to duplicate our hot leads workflow that I just made in the background there, and I'm going to swap this guy out. So we could say, and maybe instead of notifying a user, maybe we want to unassign this account or unassign this contact until they sort of warm back up and start engaging with our content. And I'll just quickly showcase what we can do with this new addition to the update sort of functionality in automations. So I'm going to choose update contact as our step there. Then I'm going to say owner. Let's believe it was owner. Oh no, oh right there it is. So owner is basically like the person that's assigned to that particular contact in the CRM. So like a salesperson sort of thing. But what we can do here is we can utilize this clear value operation. So if this contact was assigned to a salesperson, maybe we want to get this person, out of their sort of cohort of leads, just because, they're a cold lead, they're not engaging. We don't want to, we want to be conscious of our salesperson's time and kind of make sure that their CRM is only populated with like engaged hot leads that are ready for reach out, that kind of thing. So we can utilize this clear value operation to essentially remove the owner, remove the assigned salesperson from that contact. And then later on, maybe another automation can assign someone once they've warmed back up. So let's say leads, campaign, and unassign. There we go. Close enough. Cool. Awesome. With a few minutes left in our scheduled programming here, I'm now going to take a pause and going to open things up for some questions.
Awesome. So I think I'm going to try to do this. I think this is how you do it. Oh, never mind. I'm wrong. I was trying something on the fly. It didn't work the way I thought it did. Douglas had asked if I have I have an internal team of customer support agents that I'm wanting to train on this. I'm assuming meaning business app. Is there a way to do this without sharing the Vendasta name with them? I can confirm this, but I do believe our onboarding teams can be white labeled, Alistair, if I'm not mistaken.
That I'm not sure of.
Okay.
I would suggest perhaps reaching out to your account manager just to verify that. I don't want to say yes, they are. No, they're not. They very well could be, but I don't want to like 100% say yeah.
I'm in the same boat. Katie's out today too, and I think so is, and Haley's in a meeting right now. But we can follow up on that question. What I will say is we do on our custom enterprise subscriptions offer in-market training, which would be somebody from our team actually flying out to meet your support teams. Now, if those support agents are all remote or international or something, we can do that virtually. That could be structured in a way where it was white labeled, whether it was maybe like an account manager or like an AE or somebody supporting that motion, but it would come with an associated cost, obviously, just for the people's time there. So definitely something we can look into though for you, Douglas. Johanse had asked, can we hire a Vendasta service to build this type of system as you were going through the automations? Alistair, you want to speak to this? This is near and dear to your heart. So
yes, I can maybe speak to that really quickly. So excellent question, by the way, and it's one that I've heard pretty frequently over the past few months. And the short answer is soon. We are going to have a service for automations and various things that go into that. So like, smart lists and lead scoring and all that wonderful stuff that I've covered today, things like that and other automations as well. Could be a component of this service, and it's going to be through actually a new division of our marketing services fulfillment team. So we've got some quite senior folks involved at the moment, building out like a service offering, which is going to be available in the marketplace. There are still a few things up in the air, so I don't want to say too much, but just know that it is coming soon, and soon you all will be able to rather than trying to figure all of this out yourself, you can simply just have our team go ahead and do it for you.
All right. Next one is, how can we connect client external CRMs to Business App to work with the AI chat generated leads?
So when we say client external CRMs, to me, that sounds like, how do we get web chat leads out of the Vendasta CRM or the Business App CRM and into X, whatever X is? Now, there's no single answer to that question, just as there's so many CRMs out there and there's more popping up every day, it seems. But I can kind of break things down into some like broad categories for us here. First category would be Zapier. We do have the Zapier integration, of course, and we can basically utilize Zapier to pull leads out of Vendasta and send them through to whatever other CRM it is. Now, the way that you trigger a Zapier workflow by something happening in Vendasta is a bit different than like typical. So it'd be like, actually, we do have a template for that. I'm going to use that. So there we go. So it's send leads captured by web chat to another system. It's the name of the template there. And then it's going to have the send a webhook step, which is important. And then on the Zapier side of things, we're just going to create a new Zap, have the trigger be from a received webhook, and then it's going to give you a URL. You're going to put that URL right in here, and then basically like go into your web chat, have a fake conversation just so it fires once, and then that lead gets sent out to the webhook URL in Zapier. Then it'll all pop up in Zapier, and you should be able to build it out from there, utilizing the Zapier integration with whatever platform you're looking to integrate it with. And So that's one way. And then another way is some platforms natively have the ability to receive incoming webhooks. So then basically in this other platform, whatever it is, you would set up a workflow or enable a feature to receive those incoming webhooks. It would give you a URL to use. You would put that right in here, and then you can kind of pass the data through directly rather than using Zapier as basically a middleman. Hopefully that answered your question. It's a relatively complex topic, and I tried to cover it quite quickly. So apologies if maybe you need a bit more detail there, but at a high level, that's kind of how it works.
And just to add a little bit of color on that as well, I would say that if the competitive CRM or the third-party CRM is industry specific, Alistair's solution is probably the ideal solution. You're wanting to push the data to an automotive specific CRM or to a accounting specific CRM, something that's really relevant to their specific industry and has probably its own unique functionalities. If that third-party CRM is a Salesforce, HubSpot, Zoho, like kind of what you would consider more of your like boilerplate standard CRM, I would strongly advise trying to position Vendasta's CRM as free. Tell them they can save the monthly bill and just migrate into our system where everything works in one place. It's going to make you more sticky. It's going to leave less room for error with like things, multiple systems having to talk to each other. And like I said, you can likely save your clients some money by doing so as well. So I would say like maybe consider just which bucket of CRM that falls into, because if it is more of like a direct competitor with Vendasta's, you could probably win over the business if there's an opportunity there. The next question, actually, Zach just asked one that I think directly aligns with what I just said. Do you guys help with the migration? So our import system is pretty seamless. If you export a CSV of customers from an existing CRM, you basically just match the headers in the two folders and then import into our system. The only thing to be cautious of is you need to make sure that if the client has any custom fields in that other CRM, that they're just created in our CRM first. So if they have a custom field for a number of employees or, whatever the case may be, which event did we meet them at, something like that, you'll want to just make sure that that custom field is already created in here so that you can path it properly. Awesome. The next one was from Edwin. Do you post these automation examples? So I think that's probably a two-parter, Alistair. You're obviously posting recipes that are more like refined, robust systems. The ones that we do live on the calls in these sessions are not, I don't think, always posted, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Mainly just because they're kind of like quick and dirty, so to speak, and just kind of to show everyone like, hey, here's how we could set this up, rather than like just to call out an example here. We've got the Engage web chat leads one, which I believe is pretty popular. Like we see lots of folks using it. So let's just try to grab that one. So just to recap, this one does all sorts of different things. It's more or less ready to go out of the box and has a fair bit of value in it. While I was kind of piecemealing things together today, but we are going to have this recording hosted on YouTube. So if you did want to kind of replicate anything you saw today, then you would be able to jump into that recording, kind of follow along there to get yourself set up in your own account.
Awesome. And then Johanse had asked, is there training that we can watch and share with our teams to train them on how to use to basically to do these steps and leverage these things in more detail? There's definitely our academy. So the Conquer Local Academy, I will drop the link in. I will actually build it as a CTA. Give me 1 second, because then it's repeatable for future. I will add that in here in 1 sec. So if you go to conquerlocal.com,
I'll just quickly kind of take us through the academy here while we're getting that link there. So there's a few different courses on CRM, on automations, that sort of thing. Great content to kind of get your feet wet, and just kind of get started, get acquainted with those systems. So if you have members of your team that you want to make sure that they, at the very least have a high level knowledge of this stuff, what they are, how they work, that sort of thing, this would be a great place to send them.
Yeah, and then depending on Johanse, like how much, like in like custom training, I guess you need. We do have the ability to purchase onboarding sessions from our onboarding team. They're $250 a session if you just need a one-off session, or there is packages. There's a base, a standard, and an advanced onboarding package that you can purchase at any time. It ranges from $500 to $2,500 and gives you different training sessions and stuff like that with your customers and your teams as well. But to my point earlier, that is not necessarily white labeled. Like it's hi, I'm Vendasta's onboarding team, and we're going to teach you how to use Vendasta's systems today. So that would be another option that you have there as well. And then Sabina had added Zoho and Salesforce have a reporting system. Do we have a similar reporting system? So are you in ABC, Alistair?
I am indeed, yeah.
So we can probably show what's coming soon, which is our Inbox Pro reporting and analytics, which is on lead conversions and tracking. I guess, Sabina, the question I have is, what type of reporting are you looking for the customer? Is it, I guess, yeah, depending on what type of reporting, we have some, but we might not have all of what you might need, depending on. Our executive report obviously gives you like the high level marketing numbers. And then if you scroll a little bit lower down, Alistair, yeah, it's the customer relations section. This is new. It hasn't fully launched yet, but it will be coming soon, I do believe. And this actually gives you insights into the number of conversations, the number of leads, and actually where they're coming from. WhatsApp, yes, where, Facebook Messenger, receptionist, forums, etc. So it depends a little bit on kind of what sort of reporting and analytics you're looking for. I don't want to misspeak. Oh yes, great point, Alistair. The leaderboard as well on the sales side.
Yeah, we do have like sales team activity, who's making calls, who's sending emails, that sort of thing. So we can kind of keep track of how things are going internally as well, along with our reporting on our, our inbox activities, our web chat, our SMS, WhatsApp, etc.
Yeah. And then I'm not 100% sure on this, but I do believe I remember somebody in product saying that we were looking at adding a bit of a reporting around the pipeline too in here, but I might be wrong on that. I'd have to confirm with Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be more on the sales
I heard
side.
the same thing. So like, yeah, in this leaderboard section, there's also going to be stuff talking about like who's creating opportunities, who's closing them,
Yeah.
dollar figures, that sort of thing. So kind of get that like management bird's eye view of the whole team.
Exactly. And then if you go to tasks, Alistair, from a customer service side, Sabina, you're going to be able to track all tasks that are left outstanding within here. It's a good piece of feedback, though. We may want to share this with Gabe and the team just around maybe a bit of reporting similar to what we have in Task Manager at the client level task reporting. That would add a little bit of extra functionality in here as well.
Yeah, and just to quickly call that out as well, there's actually some, like for folks that are using Task Manager internally, there's some pretty robust functionality in there. If I can figure out how to share this tab. Come on, rookie. There we go. So we've got things like task timeliness, overdue tasks, stuff like that. It's honestly pretty solid, and it's been this way for actually quite a while. I feel like a lot of folks maybe just kind of gloss over Task Manager, but it's honestly a pretty robust solution, and it's just included with your subscription. So rather than paying for an Asana or something like that, maybe give Task Manager a look, because it's honestly not bad. Because yeah, I mean, we use it all the time. I use it quite frequently. I definitely recommend it.
I mean, yeah, 200 plus marketing service specialists who use this every single day. So it's very well utilized, even just internally here at Vendasta, right?
Yeah, I mean, we did kind of build it selfishly, to give a bit of a history lesson there. We first built it for ourselves, then we realized, hey, we can actually open this up to our partners, and well, that's exactly what we did.
Exactly. I think that was all of the questions. Oh, Sabina just asked one more. If we have Inbox Pro and want to send an email to the leads received using an automation, do we need Campaigns Pro to send that email?
So, Sabina, there's, I guess, two different ways we can send that email. And again, and it depends on like the sort of formatting that you want in that email. So just to quickly show us what this could look like. Actually, this Engage Web Chat Leads workflow does exactly that, along with a bunch of other things. And you can feel free to use this template, delete the stuff that you don't need, that sort of thing. But I'll just quickly kind of walk us through what this one is doing, and I'll highlight that email piece there. So when a web chat captures leads, we're doing various different things. And then further down here, we've got send a plain text email via inbox. So what this is doing is, well, exactly as it says on the can, we're sending out that plain text email. So there's no attachments, there's no imagery. It's very much like just plain Jane. Looks like you might have sent this person this email yourself, kind of thing, typing it out manually. And in this template, we've got like just kind of a boilerplate kind of standard email in here, but definitely you can feel free to customize this. Or we've seen a lot of folks using AI to generate that email. So what they'll do is they'll have like send a prompt to AI, and then basically feed the AI the chat summary like I showed us earlier, and then have it write that email. And then instead of having the email all written out here, we would then just use the dynamic content wizard to pull in the response of that AI step and have that be the email content there. So that's first option, and you do not need campaigns active for that. So you can kind of send each email or each lead that comes in that follow-up email this way, or we can use campaigns. Pretty straightforward. We would just utilize that send a campaign to a user, send a campaign to a contact, pardon me, automation step, and that is not the correct one. Campaign, send a campaign to the contact, grab that one. And there we go. So instead of sending a plain text email, maybe we want some branding on that email. And then if we did want to kind of look at it that way, then campaigns would be the way to go. Hopefully that answered your question. So yeah, there is a bit of flexibility there, but short answer is no, you don't need campaigns active.
Sweet.
Awesome. Any other questions that you can see on your side there, Logan?
Do our customers have access to Task Manager? Sort of. So they have access to see the projects that are being managed in Task Manager. They do not have the ability to use Task Manager. So they can see any projects that you or your team or our marketing services team have put into place. They can follow along with any projects that are underway. They just don't have the ability to like use Task Manager itself for that customer. So a little bit of a nuance there. I know it is something that comes up occasionally where people are asking for, maybe a project management tool that can be integrated into here. We have actually just started integrating a lot that are industry specific. So I'm going to blank on some of the names with Service Titan and a bunch of others that we've integrated at the business app level. But nothing that is our actual task manager as of yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is more so for like if you're delivering services to them, maybe building them a website, doing some social posting, they can keep track here. But if they want to deliver services themselves, then they would need something else.
Awesome. I think
right
that
on.
was everything. Doesn't look like there's any other. Oh, the only other one, sorry, Douglas had asked, what is the YouTube channel? It is just if you just search Vendasta on YouTube, it will pull that in as well.
Yeah, just the official corporate YouTube channel. I believe we are going to be putting all of the Workflow Wednesday recordings on a playlist or something along those lines, just to kind of make them easy to find, just as I know we do post a fair bit of content on there.
Yeah, Awesome. And I think that's everything.
Oh, Sabina, just to answer that last question there, adding a link, I mean, you can kind of put that raw URL in there, and depending on the recipient's email provider, that may become clickable, but there are no guarantees, so you can't like really have it always be a clickable link, but you can put that URL into the text itself. So like if we did want to have calls to action and things of that nature, campaigns might be the better way to go just because it's going to be more reliable in that regard.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for attending as always, and we will look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yeah, thanks so much, everybody. Always great to see you all, and looking forward to next week. See you then.
See ya.